Welcome to a very special episode of the Field of 68, where Jeff and I are joined by two gentlemen who are going to be partaking in the ultimate sibling rivalry. I feel very comfortable saying that because right now, sitting tied for first place in the MAC, Akron at 6-0 in league play, Miami of Ohio 6-0 in league play. And for those that aren't aware, Travis Steele and John Groce, you guys are related. You are brothers. You are going to be going head to head for first place in a conference. And I got to imagine there's just a little bit of bragging rights on the line. So let me just start it off with this. How are you guys both doing? I appreciate you being here. You know, you're playing in 48 hours and you guys are going to sit here and talk to us about it.
Well, I would just say first, it's a blessing. I joked earlier off the air there about watching Trav's team play here on film, and he's done such a great job putting his roster together. Obviously, they're really, really good. And it is unique because I pay attention to them, obviously, a lot more in season than most other teams. So, I've seen them play quite a bit. They've continued to get better as the years went on. So I'm happy for him. And, other than when we play them, I root for them. And, obviously it's a blessing that both of us are in the situation we're in going into Saturday. So that's certainly the way I see it.
Trav, what's the age difference and describe the relationship, obviously, between you guys over the years, especially that you both went into the coaching profession like this?
Yeah. So, I'm 43. John, how old are you now? Did I
Too
get all
old to
these?
even mention on the call.
Okay.
Jeff.
Well,
I'm in my
say
50s now, man. It's hard to believe.
roughly about 10 years.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a nice way to put it.
In a lot of ways, Jeff, I was kind of John's shadow kind of growing up, when he was down at, North Carolina State under Herb Sendek. I would spend the summers a lot with him, go to camp. He was kind enough to work me out. And I would just kind of sit around and got exposed to college basketball at a really young age. And I knew I wanted to do what I wanted to do at an early age due to him, and kind of always wanted to follow in his footsteps in a lot of ways. And he's a big reason why, I'm kind of quite honestly where I am today, and he got me into the business. My first job in college basketball was at Ohio State with Thad Matta and John. And again, I wouldn't be here without him. There's no doubt about it.
I want to ask both of you guys this. Trav, you can start, and John, I want your take on this too. You've played, I think you told us it was 3 times, right? And you've also had a scrimmage in there as well.
Yep.
But I gotta imagine first place in the conference, both of you 6-0 here. Like there's some very real stakes here that go beyond, being able to have a little bit of a leg up on each other, right? So how do you balance that? Obviously you want your brother to do well, but then at the same time, you want to kick his ass because you wouldn't be in this position if you weren't competitive enough to want to be able to win championships.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a cool story for this, this weekend. Obviously, it's a great story. The fact that we're both, undefeated at this point. And I emphasize this point because it's still early. Like I give you perspective. I think you'd have to look it up, but I don't know if anyone went undefeated in their conference schedule last year across the 30+ leagues, did they, Jeff? I don't know if a single team did.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it's having some perspective on this deal. It is one game on Saturday. I just think it's really cool, obviously, to watch Trav's team and the way they've just evolved and really grown and got better. A lot of their young guys I've seen over the last couple of years, and now they get to this point where they've gotten older and they've noticeably grown and gotten better and improved. It's very cool to see. I enjoy watching them play, but for me, it's a game on the weekend. Obviously, it's cool because both of us are undefeated. We're in the same league. I don't even know, Jeff, you got Arch and Sean, you've got the Hurleys, but all those guys are in different leagues.
The Drews are not in the same league, and they weren't going to go. I don't know if you remember, but there was a deal there where, remember, Bryce was not going to take a job, or Scott wasn't going to take a job in the SEC at one point because Bryce was in it. You guys, obviously, it just kind of worked out this way, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. So it's very unique, and I think from that standpoint, it's what I said earlier. I think it's a blessing, but it is one game this weekend. Certainly, I understand why, everyone's making a big deal about it. I get it. We're brothers. Both our teams are 6-0. I think his team and ours have earned the right to be in the position we're in at this point. But it's January 25th, and there's a lot of meat on the bone still, in the season. So we're trying to take it one game at a time.
You're downplaying it, John. Is what?
Yeah, I was about to say this is the epitome of coach speak. Right now he's texting Travis on the side saying, "We're going to beat your ass. We are good, man. You better watch out."
Is there a wager? Is there a side wager at all between the brothers, or no?
No
way.
What's funny, Jeff? John and I just got a text a little. At least I just responded coming out of practice. But Steve Pro said, "Hey, listen, really excited for you two guys." But whoever loses has to do a press conference in the other team's jersey.
Yeah,
you got to do something.
I like that. No, you got to have a little fun with it. You got, especially doubt. I think where you guys are in your careers and your lives, right? Like that's part of it too. Both of you have a different perspective now. Let's face it, than you did 10 years ago, right?
Sure.
I mean,
no question. Yeah,
how has that been? How has that been for both of you guys in terms of again being at Illinois? Being at Xavier, now being at a mid-major level, what's it been like, Trav, for you, and how long? Listen, I can even talk about this of like when I left ESPN. It was hard at first. It was hard, and eventually, and it's crazy to say because I got to work with Rob, but you embrace it, and I love it now. I love it because again, like it's a different lifestyle. So, Trav, what's it been like? How long did it take for you to be like kind of at peace with this?
Yeah, I think listen, it's hard. It was hard at first, it was, and but everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. And when one door shuts, another one opens, so to speak. And fortunate to be here at Miami, obviously, for them to give me the job and allow me to coach here and help these young men. And for me, it's kind of been a fresh breath air. So to speak, it's I knew it was going to be a rebuild. Every decision I've made it's nothing short term. Whereas I think sometimes the world's this way nowadays. It's like that you want to live in the moment, that result. It's game to game. Did you win or did you lose? Oh, that guy should be fired immediately if they lose one game. It's like, dude, like I have this quote above my desk at home. It says, "Be obsessed with trajectory, not the result." And I think being in a mid-major league now, and right now where the MAC is, we're a one-bid league. And John said it. Listen, this is a game on January 25th. Listen, do I absolutely want to win the game? Yeah. Does John want to win the game? Absolutely. The brother stuff it's awesome for both of us. But when the ball's tipped, it's tipped. Like he's going to coach to win, and I'm going to coach to win as well. But we have to be playing our best in March. Those 3 games in 3 days in Cleveland. And John's done it. I mean, he's done it several times here in the MAC, whether it was at Akron or whether it was at Ohio U in his previous stint there in the MAC. And that's the goal is can we just stay on that trajectory, staying up? So I almost like I love metaphors. Like it's almost like you're one of the jockeys riding a horse, right? You got to know when to push and know when to push really hard. I think at this level, whereas at Xavier, it's like I felt like you're always pushing every single day. Like it's a long year, it's a marathon, and I think there is definitely an art. And John's perfected it. I mean, honestly, he's been in the NCAA tournament. How many times you guys won the MAC tournament, John? 4 times?
4 times,
at least,
yeah.
4 times, which is incredible. I mean, it's unbelievable. This league, there's so much parity. He's done.
Trav, the crazy thing with John now is, I mean, again, you lose Enrique Freeman, right? You lose your everything that. Listen, John would adopt that kid if he could. We
so
know
would
that.
you, Jeff. He thinks he's got a job on field of 68.
Yes.
Rob, just so you know, Jeff kind of threw that out there. I don't know if he checked with you first, but Freeman thinks he's
Rob's
working
out.
with
John,
you
Rob's
guys
out.
when his career ends.
I'm gone, man. He's firing me.
Replacing Rob. Not. We're not adding Enrique. We're replacing Rob with Enrique. But it is amazing what you've been able to do this year, both of you guys. Because Trav, you built this thing, and it's a steady build here that I'm not sure anybody expected to happen this quickly. But John, like to lose Enrique Freeman and be here, right, undefeated, like you didn't think this was going to happen, did you?
I certainly didn't about a month and a half ago, Jeff. We had 9 new players on our 16-man roster. And, the 10 guys we're playing, I've never played 10 guys before. Trav would tell you from watching us, like we're playing 10 guys double-figure minutes. We're playing faster than we've ever played. We had to completely change our style. I think it fits our team better. But, with 9 new guys, it's been incredible. I mean, shoot, 4 of the 10 guys we're playing right now played a second for Akron last year. The other 6 didn't even play a single second. So it's been, I tell you what, though, it's been a lot of fun to watch it evolve and grow, because a month and a half ago, I didn't think we'd be in the position we're in right now, but we've just kind of stuck with it. Trav used the word trajectory, and we just kind of stayed with it, and we kept getting better and kind of figured it out. We still got a long way to go, but we're a lot better than we were a month and a half ago.
All right, so I want both of you guys to answer this. I got a couple quick hitters for you. Which one of you is worse once the game gets going at being too competitive, being like getting over the line, maybe saying, you know what, forget this brother stuff. Like, I got to kick his ass.
Yeah.
Oh,
Be honest with you, I'll answer it like Trav did earlier, and it's true. It's not coach speak. Once the game starts, I'm not thinking, wow, that's Trav down there. Like, I don't think about that at all, not for 1 second. When the game's over, I do. Prior to the game, I do. When I see him and shake his hand and all the stuff where we interact before the game or after the game, obviously I do at that point because he's my brother. But while the game's going on, I'm not thinking about who's down there on the other. I'm thinking about what we need to be doing at that moment, what we need to be doing next, et cetera, et cetera. So I think both of us, I've known Trav obviously his entire life. I think one of his great attributes is he's extremely competitive. I think both of us are. And Jeff, you alluded to that earlier.
Rob, I'm going to interject one thing. So I usually try to call our mom just to see if I can get any tidbits. If John's like telling her anything, I try to put my mom in a position. She's like, "Don't do that."
And the reason he does that, guys, is because deep down, his mom, he's the youngest of the whole crew. She loves him way more than the rest of us. That's why he thinks he's going to be able to get that out of her.
Groce, yeah. He's better looking. He's the young one.
Oh, there's no doubt about any of those things.
No doubt. All right, who's more likely to pick up a technical on Saturday out of the two of you?
That depends on the game. I just got one recently. And the game I'm watching on my computer right now is Kent State, and it actually got to the moment in the game in the first half here where it was very interesting. And but yeah, I think that could possibly be either one of us, in my opinion. Trav can give his thoughts on that.
I would say it depends on what that foul situation is or what that moment is. But I've seen John coach AAU basketball back in the day, a long time ago. John, you remember those days?
Oh yeah, I remember getting thrown out of a game, and one of our buddies, Matt Simmerman, who's a hometown friend of ours, had just gotten back from fighting in the Gulf, wasn't he? Trav, is that where it was?
The Gulf.
And he came back. He had just come back. And as soon as his first game back, he ended up coaching the team. He was in the stands. I remember getting thrown out of that one. Yeah, I was much more wild, guys, as a younger.
The way I remember
came
it,
down at each stop since.
The way I remember it was you have a player maybe guard the official that next possession, like he didn't even he was defending the official, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And what happened was I had him guard the official, and then he ended up tossing me. And I said, well, I told my guy to guard the guy in the gym who's hurting us the most. And it was you, bud.
What else you got, Rob?
Well, last one I got for you. All right. So we're getting the families together, the Steeles and the Groces, and we're having a cookout. Everyone's showing up. Which one of you is not allowed to step anywhere near the grill, anywhere near the kitchen, anywhere near the oven? Who cannot cook out of you two?
So listen, I can't even change a light bulb.
Me either. I'm with you.
So I can grill. It's the one thing I can do. I can't cook a lick. My wife can verify that for you, Rob. And a little bit like Trav, yesterday we just moved, which is insane. Within the community, she wanted to move. I agreed to it. We did it. Right now it's like freezing cold in Northeast Ohio, and all my buddies in the
middle of the season
saying,
you moved in the middle of the season.
Why is there snow and ice all over your car? Don't you have a garage? I said, well, I don't right now. There's boxes all in that sucker. But she does all that stuff, all the work. She's a rock star. But I can grill. a little bit, Rob. I can grow a little bit.
Good.
All right. The last one, I got one more for you real quick for each of you quickly. What do you need to do to win this game Saturday? We'll start with the older brother.
Man. Obviously, they're well balanced. I told our guys that today. I mean, they're among the best teams in the league offensively and defensively. I think they play both ends of the court. I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, I think obviously we got to try to slow them down a little bit. They shoot a lot of threes like we do. The stat sheet shows that. Trav knows that. Our offenses are somewhat, although a little bit different systematically. They're trying to get the same things. Defensively, obviously we both sprinkle here and there, but primarily play man. So it'll be interesting to see. I think in a game like this, oftentimes, I believe this, it comes down to who gets the most easy baskets. Whether that's rebounding, whether that's points off turnovers, whether that's transition, whether that's, layups. So it's easy baskets can oftentimes determine a game like this one on Saturday where the two teams are really good and well balanced on both ends.
Trav?
I would kind of second that. I was going to say turnover differential, right? Akron, I think, turns you over a little bit. We turn you over a little bit. And then the rebounding, who's going to get more shots up. I think at the end of the day is going to be the team that wins. Akron's, we're both similar in a way because we're both very balanced and we're very, very deep. I mean, John's got 10 guys who could go get 15 plus in a game. I have 9 guys who go get 15 plus in a game. So it's like, who do you take away, right? It's very difficult. There's some teams where it's like, hey, you got 2 horses and they play through those 2 guys and you're going to game plan around those 2 guys. With Akron, it's hard. It's like you take away one guy, it's like the next guy's getting you. And so I think the team that gets the most field goal attempts because they're so efficient. We're like John said, we're similar in a lot of kind of what we do in a lot of ways. A hair different, but like the themes are similar. So I just think that the field goal attempts, who's getting the most up, will probably be the deciding factor.
Well, listen, guys, we appreciate you jumping on and taking away from your prep to be able to talk to a couple of idiots over here who only wanted to crack jokes.
This was fun, man.
Enjoy it, celebrate it. It's awesome. It's really a cool moment. It's something that only happens in college basketball, and I'm glad that we were able to sit here and enjoy it with you guys. So best of luck. Make sure you get your prep in, and don't turn the ball over on Saturday. That's what I heard.
If it was that easy, right, Rob? Guys, I really appreciate you having us on, and obviously you guys do a great job, man. I follow your deal. I've known Jeff for a long time, Rob, and I know you guys really work at it and do a great job. So appreciate all you do for all of us.
We'll be scoreboard watching. Trust me.
Man.
We're going to be at Auburn, Tennessee on Saturday.
That's
Trust
a good one.
We're going to be scoreboard watching. This game is going to be
I love it.
As interesting as any game on the slate Saturday.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it, guys.
You got it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Hey, the loser's got to wear the jersey, right? We lock that in?
Something like that, right?
Something like that. We got to do something.
I don't think we're locking it in here. I think this is kind of like this is wishy-washy.
Yeah, I don't know if Trav's administration or mine would want us to do that. But you know what, Trav? Maybe we'll have to think about something.
Come on, you're older now. Who cares?
That's a great point.
Do it.
Yeah.
That is a good
I've gotten to that point, Goodman. That's what I've gotten to.
Yeah.